Here's my latest build. If you watched my earlier videos, you saw I made a little mini kind of M4 AK. I thought it was really cool. So I wanted to do another one, but my goal with this one was to make it look more like an AK, right? The other one definitely looks cool, but it looks like a combination M4 AK. And so here I wanted to go ahead and go more with the traditional kind of AK look. So that's what I did, right? So first off is I made this 3D printed piece up front here. I basically took 3 different files that were free on Thingiverse, 3D files. I had to resize them, I had to cut them, and I had to make this handguard so it would fit on here like this. So it has the incorporated grip, which I thought was kind of nice. And then everything else, I just added the rails after the fact, and then I printed this front, piece with the barrels and the sights as well. Obviously, this one is just a dummy one, like you see on most AKs, and then the bottom one is threaded, and I went with this kind of, fat little flash hider on there that is a traditional AK style one. I shrunk it down, kind of made it smaller and fatter, which is what I was planning to do there. Now, I had to build this little piece out again on my computer to print so that I could attach this dust cover because it doesn't line up perfectly. It's actually a little higher when you put it on this M4 receiver. So I built that up, and then here was just a piece, a plate to cover that, where I built it up, and then used a dust cover I had left over from another blaster. And that's where this piece was. So that allowed me to connect it here as well. Of course, it's screwed down in so that it's not going anywhere. And then I printed this back little button piece, and then I screwed that in too. I used a lot of M4 heat inserts and M4 nuts. So things can be removed and it can be serviced fairly easily. And that way, that's kind of nice in case anything goes wrong with it. When it comes to the receiver itself, this is like an Anstoy or Vasvarn, Vasuin. They're all the same. You can get them on Amazon. The Vasvarn's on sale for $60 a lot of times, so that's a pretty good deal. So I took that, but then I, opened up the gearbox. I replaced everything. So everything's been upgraded. Metal gears, of course, a high-speed motor, a metal inner barrel, kind of, everything that you can replace there. So by the time you do that, even if you get a Vasvarn for $60, you're at the price, you're probably over the price of what it costs to go ahead and buy an Emmerbu that's already set up like that. So unless you already have one of these, I would just go the route of buying one that's already put together for you with all those upgrades, because it's going to save you money and save you time. However, I will say, replacing the gears on the M4 gearbox or on the Gen 8 gearbox is fairly easy. And of the last 5 I did, 4 out of the 5, I didn't even need to mess with shimming gears. They were already set perfect. So that worked out really nice. So that's what we got going performance-wise. And so with that, I'm able to hit about highs of 300 FPS now, which is pretty good. I did use a ported cylinder. Again, I don't use any mathematical equations to make sure the length of my barrel and the port are exactly where they should be. I just go ahead and do my best guess. So it turned out pretty good in this case. This was kind of cool. I had a leftover little mag release from some other blaster that was broken. I'm not even sure what it was from. I was able to modify that slightly so that works for the mag release button. So just kind of something cool and different. Now, when it comes to the stock, I had some of these AK stocks from some old Anstoy AK-47s, which you can still get on Amazon. And I wanted to make a shortened one. So initially, the one that's on there is the one I made first, and that's the actual true orientation of that stock. But when you shorten it, and then you've got this little bump here, it kind of looks like upside down, right? And so after I showed a picture to a friend of mine, Corey, who's super knowledgeable about blasters, he's like, oh, I just don't like the looks of that. And he said, you should just flip it over. And I said, well, it's not as easy as just flipping it over because I basically made it and printed a piece so that it can accept the buffer tube. So I went ahead, it's not a huge project, and I made another one so that we have one that can go, more straight on. All right. So that's what we got going right here. And then again, just a little heat insert here, or actually in this case, that's probably a rivet nut. And that way you can go ahead and, screw, I can put a little screw with a grip on it, something like, well, probably a much smaller version of this, right? But something like this that allows you to go ahead and tighten that against the buffer tube if you need to. So of course we've got an 11.1 in there. And then I went with a nice optic on there as well. So overall, I really like it. I think it looks cool. Kind of call it my little stormtrooper, M4AK CQB. So that's what I was going for here. And I think it turned out cool. And like I said, the performance has been good. So comments or questions, post them below. Let me know what you guys think about it. I think it turned out really cool. I like the performance of it. So check back for those demo videos. And of course, please like, subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and participate in all those monthly giveaways. Thanks.